Coding made easy.
So what's up everybody, this is Peter bringing you your next Java tutorial. And in this tutorial we're going to be learning about something called arrays. So let's say that a school's coming to you. I'm going to use another school example since a lot of you guys are in school, whether college, university, or high school or whatever. But anyways, a school comes to you and says, okay, our teachers want a unique way to store all these students' GPAs. And you're like, okay, that's fine. And so you're like, okay, the GPAs are going to be, let's say, integers. Or let's just say they're going to be floats. So you'll be like, okay, float, student 1, student 2, student 3, and so on and so forth. And you're kind of like, okay, you have to make that, let's say there's a maximum of 30 students in each class. And so you're making this humongous list of floats. Well, what if I told you there was a way that you could create 30 different students all in one line? So the way we do it in Java is this. So we say the data type, and we put two square braces. Just two square braces lets Java know that we're going to be creating an array. And an array is sort of like a grid. And so we have an array, and we're going to name it just like we would name any other variable type. So we're going to say students, and we'll do it like that. So whenever we create an array, we are kind of creating a grid. So we're making a bunch of different boxes, right? And so it's letting us know that we were going to create a grid, but how many boxes in this grid are we creating? This is where this comes in. So we've used a new keyword before. It's letting us know that the new keyword has a deeper meaning, but it's letting us know we're creating a new instance of a brand new array. Let's just say that. So making a new array, we have to specify the type, which is float. We have to redeclare it, and then in here we have to put the square brackets again, but in the square brackets we have to let it know how much cubby holes we have. So let's say we set it to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, if I can count correctly. So we have 10 cubby holes, and in each of these cubby holes, imagine each cubby hole is a variable. And so instead of having to put students 1 and students 2, you've created all 10, or let's say 30 for 30 students. You've created all 30 students in one variable name. So now you're saying to yourself, okay, we created 30 students. How do I access them? How do I do stuff with them? And that's a very good question. Well, this is how we do it. If we want to access the first student, we'll say students square brace, and that's the first student. Student 0 is the first student, and to access the last student, it would be 29. Now, why is it? Remember with the random numbers, how by default it when we put the number 6 or put the number 10, it generated a number between 0 and 9. And that's how it is in the Java language. When we're working with arrays, if you say you want the array size to be 30, it's ranging from 0 to 29. And a lot of things are like that in Java. They start from the number 0 and go to the number you specified -1. And in reality, that is 30 numbers. I'm not sure why they've done it that way, but that's the way it is done in Java. It's done in C++, done in C#, done in a lot of big languages. So we have... so with that, we've just created 29 different things for students. And this is where for loops really shine. They really shine a lot. And there are another special type of for loop, which I will be teaching you in probably either the next tutorial or the next couple tutorials. But this is where the for loop shines. So let's say, for example, like I said before, it's a good thing to set default values for an array, and or for a variable. So if we have to do student 0 equals 0 and students 1 equal to 0, it'll be the same as creating a regular variable. What would be the point? But this is where for loops can shine. So we're going to create a counter, And no, I've always set the counter to 0 because normally we want to start from the first element in the array. So we're going to say less than 30, and we're going to increment it by 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to say students I is equal to 0. And just like that, we set 30 student variables into the default value of 0. And that's how for loops can help you out. And we just worked with 30 different variables all under one for loop. So if we wanted to we could even generate a random number and store a value in it. Or if we wanted to, we're just going to say students I is equal to, did I do that before? Yep. So what we're going to do is we're just going to say students I is equal to 10. And the I is just a number. So by default, it's set to 0. So it's going to say student 0 is equal to 10. Then it's going to be incremented by 1. So it's going to say students 1 is equal to 10, and so on and so forth. And just to show you that it does that, we'll make another for loop after this with the same things. Less than 30. And we'll say system out print line, and we're going to say students I, and we are going to run this. As you can see, all the values have the number 10 in there. So that's how those are the basics of arrays. We are going to utilize arrays a lot in future projects or future tutorials, but that is just the surface. So if you have a lot of variables that are grouped that are similar, like a bunch of students or a bunch of teachers or a bunch of things that are in one category, then you can all group them into one variable name and have them all there instead of having them in separate variable names. And you can easily manipulate them with for loops, with while loops, manipulate them in many different ways other than loops as well. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and bye for now.